started with our warm-up. Of course, arms are coming up and down. We're getting our full shoulder range of motion in. Today's class, it will be a full body compound buildup. So we're going to start with one exercise, and with each set we add one on until we have created a full body compound movement. So let's go ahead, start swinging those arms left and right, squeeze those shoulder blades back. Maybe you get that little step in, maybe you stretch out your neck and get some neck rolls in. Just depends on how tight or sore you're feeling today. We'll go ahead, stop our feet outside of those hips. Let's bend it on over, touch the floor, stretch out those hamstrings. And then we're gonna go ahead, bring it down nice and low, hands up, push those knees out with those elbows. We're opening up our hips. And then let's bring our arms overhead to repeat, bending it on over, keeping those legs nice and straight, feeling that pull in the back of your legs. We have 3, 2, 1, bring it down, nice deep squat, hands up, use those elbows, push the knees out. We have 3, 2, 1, arms overhead for our last one. We're bending it over, really stretching out those hamstrings. We have some deadlifts today, so you want those nice and loose. And then we're gonna bring it down into our nice deep squat, hands up. This time, right hand coming up for that little bit of a twist. For 3, 2, 1, bring it on down. Left hand comes up, making sure you try to look up at that hand as best you can. We have 3, 2, 1. This is our last chance to open up those hips, really push those knees out. For 3, 2, 1, arms overhead. Let's stand on up. We are coming into our high plank, so hands down. Step the feet back. Once those shoulders are over our hands, we take a nice big inhale to lower the hips, slight tilt of the chin. Exhale brings our hips up as we step that right foot forward. Option to stay in this runner's lunge, or you can always drop that left knee down, take it down a notch into that low lunge. We are just pulsing it out, stretching out our hip flexor, and we are going to switch sides. Step that right foot back, left foot comes forward. And then we will go ahead, bring the left foot back into our high plank. Inhale for the hips to come down. Exhale, we raise those hips on up. Step that right foot forward. And then the left. We just have one last one. Let's step our left foot back, high plank. We lower those hips with our inhale. And then as we exhale out through the mouth, we raise those hips on up. Last time, bring that right foot forward, pulse it out, and then go ahead, bring that left foot forward. Finishing off our warm up, we're gonna go ahead, step that left foot back, and then slowly stand on up whenever you are ready. That is our warm up. So we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. Like I said, we are starting with one exercise, and with each set, we are gonna add on another movement for a total of 5 sets to equal one completely full body movement. So our first set will be our shortest. It'll be 30 seconds. And then the 3 in between will be 45 seconds of work. And then that last one will be 60 seconds. That way you have the longest time to really get in all of those movements. So for our first compound movement, we are going to start in a high plank doing a renegade row. So we start in a high plank with your dumbbells or weights, whatever you have. You are holding on to them and you are just rowing your arms back, picking those hands up, and then you just bring that elbow slightly past the back, bring it back down, and then switch sides. As always, those shoulders should be right over those hands. Hips should be nice and flat. I don't want to see any upside down knees. And of course, no arching of the back. Pull that belly button into the spine. Make that back nice and straight. So we're going to hold it there and we're going to row it back. And of course, if you need to, you can always modify it down to your knees and pick it up for those modified renegade rows. We are going to go ahead and get started. Like I said, our first set, which is just this one movement, will be 30 seconds of work. And then during our rest time, I will go ahead and briefly tell you what our next movement is. So Bring it into position. We have 3, 2, 1. We're rowing those arms back, alternating each side. Keep that back nice and straight. Already halfway there, 15 seconds. We have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and rest. For our next movement, we're gonna add a push-up. So once you do one row on each side, you bring it down into a push-up. Let's go ahead and start in 3, 2, 1, row it back, one on each. Then once you've done that, bring it down to a push-up. And of course, if you need to, you're more than welcome to drop down onto your knees, do that modified push-up, and then pick it back up. Or if you're somewhere in between, one knee down, one knee up. Making sure those elbows don't flare out too far to the side. You want 45 degrees or less. We have 10 seconds. Keep it going. Give me one more rep with 3, 2, 1. Let's go ahead and relax. Our next movement, we're gonna add a sprawl. So after that push-up, you press up, and then you're gonna jump your feet in. Normally, I tell you to do it out wide, try to keep it nice and close together. So you just jump your feet in, and then you bring it back. We're rowing in 2, 1, row it up, one on each. Come down to that push-up, press up, and then you just jump the feet in, then jump it back out. Don't have to pick up the hands or anything, just the feet are coming forward after that push-up. Then you just jump the feet back, come back into that row. Do that push-up, jump the feet in, and then we jump the feet back. Hands stay on the ground or on your dumbbells. We have 7 seconds. 2, 1, go ahead and relax. Now, once you jump your feet forward, we're gonna slowly lower those hips, and then you just come right up into an extension for that deadlift. And you drop it back down, jump it back, and then we're back into that renegade row. So again, you jump the feet forward, lower the hips just a little bit, and then stand it on up. Bring it back down, you jump it back, and then we start it all over again. So let's go ahead, starting our rows in 3, 2, 1. We row it back. Add that push-up. Jump the feet, lower the hips, stand it on up. Bring it down. Nice, Jonathan. Nice, Alex. Looking good. Jump the feet back, and then we start back with those rows. Making sure you keep that back nice and straight. Squeeze those shoulder blades back. We have 5 seconds. Can you finish that rep? 2, 1, go ahead and relax. Now, after we stand up, all we're gonna do is a hammer curl. So palms should be facing in. You just bring it back up, down, and then that is the end of our movement. So into our high plank, row it back. Let's go ahead and begin. Bring it back to that row. Come down for that push-up. Jump the feet in, lower the hips, stand it up, curl those arms, palms facing in towards each other. This is our full compound movement right here. We're not adding anything else. 60 seconds, complete body work. We're already halfway. We get a little bit longer of a break after this, 30 seconds. Don't forget that curl at the end and bring it back down. Make sure you bend those legs, keep that back straight. Don't just hunch over to drop your weights down. 2, 1, let's go ahead and relax. Now that we have finished that first movement, we're gonna go ahead and reverse it. So we ended with those hammer curls, so now we start with 30 seconds of straight hammer curls. And then we're gonna work it back down until we get to that renegade row. So go ahead, stand it on up. We are starting our 30 seconds. Pick those weights up. We have 4, 3, 2, 1. Curl those arms up. Keep those elbows right by your side. Nothing should be moving, but your forearms coming up. And again, palms should be facing in towards each other. Keep those shoulder blades back. Nice straight back. We have just over 10 seconds. Keep going. 2, 1, let's rest. So again, we curl it up once, we bring it down, and then we bend our legs, push the butt back into that deadlift. We have 3, 2, 1, curl it up, bring the hands down, hinge those hips, bring it down, extend it back up, straight into that curl. Coming down, keep that back nice and straight. Squeeze those shoulder blades back. Nice Alex, nice Jonathan, nice Mike. Remember, these middle sets are 45 seconds, so just a little bit longer. We have just over 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go ahead and relax. So after we drop it down, this time we're gonna put our weights all the way down, jump the feet back, and then we bring it back up to repeat. So all we're doing so far is just jumping those feet back. Let's go ahead and start with the curls in 3, 2, 1, curl it up, bring it down, come down, drop those weights all the way, jump it back. Back forward, we come up, curl, down, jump the feet back, forward, back up, curl. Guys are doing awesome. We have 20 seconds, more than halfway there. Ten seconds. Can you fit one more rep in with 5 seconds to go? 3, 2, 1, let's relax. Now we add in that push-up. So you jump the feet back, bring it down, bring it up, and then we repeat the rest. Again, we start with those hammer curls. Weights up. We are starting in 4, 3, 2, 1. We curl down, deadlift it down, drop the weights, jump it back, add that push-up. Then we jump the feet back in, stand it up, start it back with that curl. If you need to, modify it down onto your knees for that push-up. Or if you're somewhere in between, one knee down, one knee up. Looking good, you guys. We have 10 seconds, and then we're on our final set, that long 60 seconds, starting in 3, 2, 1. You guys know what comes next after that push-up. We get into our rows, a full-on 60 seconds, and then we get a nice long 60-second break. This is our last set for this compound movement. Weights up. We have 3, 2, 1, let's curl. Bring it down. Place the weights down, jump it back. We got our push-up, And then we have our rows this time. Don't forget them. Then you just jump the feet back in and you start back with those curls. Halfway there. Keep it up. This is the last time we're doing any of these movements. Complete total body work. Just 20 seconds remaining. How many more reps can you get in? We finish with that row. Then you jump the feet back, stand it up, and start back with those curls. 2, 1. Let's go ahead and rest. Whew, 60 seconds. Catch our breath. And then we're going to move into our next movement. Gives ourselves a long break. If your forearms are starting to feel a little tense, bring that arm straight out in front of you and hold the back of your palm towards you. And then do the same thing away. If your forearms are starting to tense up, don't worry, we will stretch them again at the end. Our second movement, we are starting with a Romanian deadlift. Legs with that slight bend, keeping our back straight, shoulder blades back. We push the hips back. We bring it down. Once your hands are parallel to the ground, right at mid-shin, we press up through our feet and stand up. So we're coming into just deadlift, 30 seconds, just like so. Remember, slight bend of those legs. Let's go ahead and start in 3, 2, 1. Hinge the hips. You're just pushing it back, and then you stand it on up. Keep that back as straight as you can. Don't hunch over. Squeeze those shoulder blades back to keep that back nice and straight. Imagine there's a pencil there, and you have to hold it there all the way down, all the way up. 10 seconds. We have 3, 2, 1. Let's rest. When we come down now, we're going to bring our arms and come out into a rear Delt Fly. Squeeze those shoulder blades back. So let's hinge our hips. 2, 1. We drop it down. Then our arms out, come out nice and wide. Squeeze those shoulder blades back as you raise those arms. There should be a slight bend in those arms, not a huge one, just a little bit. So you take some of that pressure off that elbow. You hinge at those hips, and then you bring it out. Palms should be facing each other as you come out for that rear Delt Fly. Nice, Alex, that was good. Keep it up, Mike. Nice, Jonathan. Doing good, Melly. We have just 7 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Let's rest. So now after we come from that rear Delt Fly, you're going to stand up and just curl up for a bicep curl. This time, your arm should move so that your palm faces you. So we add that bicep curl now. 3, 2, 1. Let's hinge those hips. Bring those arms out nice and wide. Stand it up. Curl those arms up. Down for that deadlift. Out for that fly. Up for that curl. We got 25 seconds. You're halfway there. Remember, keep that back nice and straight. Don't forget that little bicep curl at the end. We have 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and rest. Now this time, when you curl those arms up, you're going to keep them up, and then you're going to come down into a squat. Then you lower to repeat. So you curl up, hold it, squat it down, stand up, then extend. We hinge our hips in 2, 1. Hinge it over. Fly it back. We're up. We curl, we squat. Up, bring it down, then we hinge. Fly it out, We stand, curl, hold it, come into that squat, then bring it down. Hold that curl, bring it down into that squat, push the hips back, push those knees out, feet should be hip width apart into that squat. We have 5, 4, 3, and go ahead and rest. Now this is it, our last movement. After we squat, we stand it up, and we're gonna rotate our elbows out and bring it overhead. Back down, rotate it in. Got it? So let's go ahead, hinge in 2, 1, hinge it over, fly it out, bring it in, stand on up, curl, squat. You stand up, this time rotate those elbows out, bring it overhead, back down, rotate it in, to repeat. So we hinge, we fly, stand it up, curl, squat, bring it up, elbows out, overhead, Arnold press. Squat, bring it up, elbows come out, arms overhead, back down, back in, down to repeat. Hinge those hips, push it back, curl it up, we squat, we rotate it out, then overhead. Nice, keep it up. We got 5 seconds. Give me that last rep. 2, 1, go ahead and rest. 30 seconds, catch your breath. This time we start with that Arnold press. So you start with your palms facing in. We bring them out, overhead, back down, just like so. A little motion. Whew, burning out our shoulders with that. So make sure you get those arm circles in now. We have 7 seconds, weights coming up. We're bringing our palms facing in. 2, 1, rotate it out, overhead, back down, back in, out, overhead, back down, back in. Yes, nice Mike, nice Nelly. Keep it up. Bring those elbows all the way out. So that elbow should be coming out to that shoulder height. You pick it up and then you rotate it back in, out, up. We have 5 seconds. 2, 1, go ahead and relax. Now we add that squat in. So when you come down and you rotate in, we're gonna add that squat. Then we come back. So feet hip width apart. Start with that Arnold press in 2, 1, rotate it out, overhead, back down, in, squat it down, up, out, overhead, down, in, squat. Making that little motion. We have 30 seconds. Keep it going. Don't forget that little squat at the end. Push your butt back. Keep those shoulder blades pressed together. We have 20 seconds. And always, always, when you come down into that squat, those knees are being pushed out. Don't let them cave in. We just have 5 seconds. 2, 1, let's relax. So now after we come down from that squat, back up, we add in that bicep curl. So we squat, bring it down, bring it up, back into that Arnold press. Whew, my shoulders are burning. We have 2, 1, out, overhead, back down, in, squat, stand it up, lower the arms, curl it up, back into those Arnold presses, back into that squat, and then we bring it down for that curl. Making sure you breathe through it. I know this is a lot of upper body right now. We have 20 seconds. Don't forget that little squat in between the Arnold press and the curl. So you should be squatting when your hands are facing towards you and right at shoulder height. We have 3, 2, 1. Let's relax. Now we're gonna add in the deadlift. So after you curl, you lower it down, and then we hinge those hips, and then we bring it back into that Arnold press. So let's press out those Arnolds in 3, 2, 1, bring it out, overhead, back down, in, squat, we come up, curl those arms down, and then we come into our deadlift. Bring it back up, we curl, Arnold press, squat, bring the arms down, come into our deadlift. When we come up from the deadlift, that's when we'll get in our bicep curl. Feet should still be hip width apart. We have 10 more seconds. 2, 1, let's relax. Okay, this is it, you guys, our last set. We add in that fly after that deadlift. So we're gonna start with those Arnold presses, and we end with the fly. Weights up, elbows coming out in 3, 2, 1, bring it out. Bring it overhead, back down, in, squat. Stand it up, bring the arms down, hinge it over, fly it out, bring it up for that curl. Arnold press, back down to that squat. Lower the arms, hinge, fly it out, back up, curl onto that Arnold press, squat. We have 30 seconds. This is our last big movement. After this, we have just 3 minutes of core, nice and simple, and then we are done with our workout, you guys. Doing awesome, flying through this with just 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, let's go ahead and rest. We are only going to need 1 dumbbell or 1 water bottle or 1 weight for our core. We're going to start with our dead bugs. We only have 1 set each, so legs bent, feet flat. We alternate extending the legs out as we bring our arms overhead, just like so. So go ahead, bring it down onto the floor. We're going to lay on our backs. Again, we just have 1 set for each of these movements. Keep that back nice and flat. Bring that belly button in to the spine. And then we alternate those leg extensions as we bring those arms overhead. Let's go ahead and start. 3, 2, 1. Send it out. That lower back should be flat the entire time. If you can't keep it from arching, modified version, you're going to keep the legs bent, and you're just going to drop the toes down. We have 20 seconds. Again, only 1 set per exercise. So after this, we're done with these. In 10 seconds, we are going to keep our feet as they are, and we're going to come into our knee hang sit up. First, we have our rest. So go ahead and relax. We're going to bring our hands now in front of our chest, feet off the ground. We come our back off the ground and then into that Russian twist and then back down, keeping the feet hovering. Go ahead, sit it up with me. Rotate, hands to the outside of the hips. Try to keep your feet from touching the ground. Keep that chin off your chest. Of course, if you need to, you can always modify it and keep the feet on the ground and just do a sit up to that Russian twist. But if you want a little bit more of that core imbalance challenge, keep the feet off the ground the entire time. And then as you sit up, hands are coming outside of the hips for that little bit of a Russian twist. We have 10 seconds, and then we're done with these in 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and relax. Legs coming up. We have our toe touch to a leg drop. Toe touch to that leg drop, starting in 3, 2, 1, shoulders up, toe touch. Drop the legs, keep that back nice and flat. Again, if you cannot stop that back from arching, modified version, you just drop one leg at a time rather than dropping both legs at the same time. We have 20 seconds. Shoulders up for that toe touch, and then legs drop, either both or one, just to make sure that lower back stays flat the entire time. After this, we just have one final exercise in 2, 1. Go ahead, relax, turn it over. We don't need our weight. We are ending with our 60-second plank. Elbow or hands, up to you. Just get it into position in 2, 1. Knees are up. Either when you're in a high plank or that elbow plank, your shoulders should be right over either the elbow or the hand. And of course, our back stays nice and straight. 60 seconds into this elbow or high plank. If you want to add that challenge, maybe you pick up a foot, maybe you pick up a hand, maybe you do one of each, or if you need to scale it back, you can drop down those knees and come into that modified plank. We're already halfway there. Keep it up. We got 20 seconds. You guys are doing awesome. We're almost there. Hold strong, hold strong. Just a little bit over 10 seconds. You got this. We're in single digits, only 5 seconds. That's it. Keep it going, keep it going. Go ahead and rest. Whew. And grab some water. Towel it off if you need to. And then we are going to get into a little bit of a cool down. Whew. Let's go ahead and start in our child's pose. Seated on our heels, feet together, knees wide, palms as far as you can reach it, chin to chest. We unlock that lower back. We're going to take a nice big inhale. And then we're going to go ahead and exhale and walk those hands over to the left, reaching that right hand as far as you can. Feel this stretch running through that right side of your body. Bring that nose to your left knee. Take in our breaths in through the nose, and then we breathe out through the mouth. Go ahead, inhale it back to center, and then exhale it to the right. Reaching that left hand as far as we can. And again, bringing our nose to our right knee this time. We have 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, bring it back. Center. We're going to inhale into our Cobra. So we inhale and we push our shoulders and hips forward as we extend those legs. Slight lift of the chin, just like we did in our warm-up, just to stretch out our core after all that work we just finished doing. Nice big inhale for me. And then let's go ahead, exhale it back to our child's pose position. Now, staying in this position, we are going to slide our hands forward as we raise our hips up, coming into our puppy pose. So hips up, forehead on the ground. Once those hands come as far as they can, keep your biceps kind of close to your ear, and then melt the chest down to stretch out the chest and the shoulders. We have 3, 2, 1. Let's go ahead, drop those elbows down, pick the hands up, and reach for the back of the shoulders to stretch out those triceps. So elbows be on the ground, hips are still in the air for 3, 2, 1. Let's back down. We're going to thread that needle by flipping that left hand over, bring it across and under our right arm, laying on the left side of our face. You can either stay as you are, keeping that right arm where it is, or option to pick that right arm up, bring it into the sky, looking up at that hand, or third option, you can bend that right arm behind the back, try to reach for that left thigh, and then you can pull that elbow slightly away from you just to get somewhat of a shoulder stretch in. We have 3, 2, 1. Whichever one you decided, go ahead, bring that right arm back, and then bring the left. Switching sides, the right arm flips over and comes across the left, laying on the right side of our face now. Option to stay as you are, or to pick that left arm up, or to bring it behind the back. Any of these are completely fine. Just depends on, again, how tight or loose you're feeling today. Pull that elbow away if you've bent it. We have 3, 2, 1. Let's go ahead, bring that left hand back down, and then the right, and let's slide it back into our quadruped position, hands and knees. We're gonna go ahead, step that right foot forward, low lunge, align the knee and the ankle, and we're just gonna sink those hips. For 3, 2, 1, go ahead, step that right foot back, left foot forward now. Again, align the knee and the ankles, sink the hips. We have 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, step it on back. We're gonna pick the knees up, coming into our downward dog. Stretch out those calves, pedal out those heels. And then let's go ahead and slowly walk those hands back to our feet, forward fold. We stretch out those hamstrings. And of course, if you cannot reach the floor, it is okay to bend your legs so that you can. And then we're gonna take a nice big inhale up, sweeping the arms overhead. Inhale it up, arms overhead, reach, reach, reach. Take that left hand to the right wrist. Exhale it over to the left. And then let's go ahead, inhale it back up, switch hands, exhale it to the right. And then we're gonna inhale it back center. And exhale those arms down, relaxing our shoulders. That is all I have for today's workout. You guys, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed. And again, next week we will be back to body weight. Still